Make sure that we're the only one here. In today's video, I will offer you a full breakdown, exactly what I do for work in a typical day in the life as an account executive working in software sales. Afterwards, I will give you an office tour and show you the exact desk I make cold calls from. Software is actually pretty simple. I work in SaaS, software as a service. There's B2C software, for an example, Netflix, business to consumer. You pay Netflix Corporation $15 a month for their content library. I work in B2B software, business to business. I call on my target buyer persona, which is HR people, and I say, look, I can help you to improve your business, to improve employee retention, morale, culture. All you need to do is pay me $15,000 a year for my program. It's gonna be annual revenue subscription, so they pay for a subscription, access to my software to help them improve their culture. It's very simple, and I get paid a lot of money to do so. My days are broken out into 3 buckets. Pipeline generation, which I mastered 2 years as an SDR, 50,000 cold calls. Pipeline health, which is actually working the deals, closing, negotiating, and I'll talk about some of the nuance in that here today. And self-development. As I get into hour by hour exactly what I do day in the life, if you enjoy my videos, hit the like button right now, comment the cherry emoji down below for the algorithm, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Our goal is to reach 15,000 subscribers. I typically show up to the office around 7:30 to 8 a.m. I get in, I fill up my water bottle, I sit down on my desk, and the very first thing I do, which is actually a bonus item not listed right here, is I post on LinkedIn. Every day I post on LinkedIn. It's helped with my internal personal brand and external communication, being able to share my messages. I reach over 120,000 people a week. It's absolutely incredible. So I would encourage you to start posting on LinkedIn if you're serious about your career and your success. As soon as I do that, it's about 8 a.m. And the very first thing I do is pipeline health. This term to me means looking at my active pipeline. So we'll talk about pipeline generation, some of my strategies and secrets and how to go about doing that. But as an SDR, you set up a meeting and you bring in someone like myself, an account executive, to run the meeting. I'm gonna do discovery with the HR person, right? I'm gonna say, hey, you wanna improve your retention, right? Okay, perfect, you need my software. So we've done some discovery, we understand their pain, their needs, and I qualify that as an opportunity, and meaning whatever the potential deal value would be worth, that would be the pipeline amount. Whenever we have that initial meeting, in order for it to be an opportunity, we need to convert it to an additional meeting. So maybe it's a demo, maybe it's another discovery call, maybe they're bringing on their boss because we need some executive alignment. Nonetheless, it's qualified pipeline and it's a real opportunity. And you need a lot of opportunities in your pipeline to be able to hit your quota. As an account executive, my quarterly quota is $216,000. So every day I start out by looking at what are my active deals that I'm working right now? What step in the sales cycle is this deal in? Is it an initial discovery call? Is it at a demo right now? Are we negotiating? What steps are remaining in the process in order to actually get them to sign the contract? That is pipeline health. Sometimes there's parts of your deals that you can go and improve. You can go put in more work, focus energy on them to help advance them forward and drive closer to the close. That's how I'm starting out each and every day, because you are a CEO within the larger business and you're responsible for your number, and you need to understand how your deals are flowing and what you do to close them sooner rather than later. That takes us into 8:30 a.m. and we've done a lot to start the day, right guys? We're sending prospecting emails at 8:30 a.m. So I'm an account executive, I'm tasked with closing revenue, but I still operate basically 40% of my day as an SDR. The task I enjoy the least is sending emails, specifically going through, customizing it. Everyone says, should you just do a bunch of volume emails, no customization, or high customization, less emails? I like to be a balance of both. So I'm adding my prospects to my sequences, and I typically try and customize that first email with just a subject line that maybe says, remember us from their past company, or congrats on the new role, or a specific keyword that I see in their LinkedIn page that I think will catch their attention. And then I try and customize that first sentence a bit. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually takes way more time than you would think. And if I wait until the end of the day, I'll usually just not do it. So I like to start out my mornings by sending at least 5 to 10 prospecting emails. At this point, we have a lot of momentum. That takes us into 9 a.m. cold calling block. I always like to make some cold calls before lunch and after lunch. Right around that 9 a.m. mark is when I'm trying to begin making cold calls. I don't always follow this schedule to a T because sometimes I have external customer meetings and we actually have a block for that later in the day. But I'm gonna start cold calling. I'm gonna get the juices flowing. I think it's a great time to pick up the phone as early as you can in the mornings, and 9 a.m. is typically when I start doing that. That carries us into 10 a.m. and I am still prospecting. And when I say prospecting, I call it mining. That's what we call it here at our company. Think of mining for gold. The outcome is a couple flake ounces of gold. In order to get that, you need a bunch of rocks. You need all of this raw earth material to put in your sleuth machine. It's shaking it. You got water, a bunch of activity, and then you have a little bit of gold. It's the same thing with prospecting. You need to identify your top accounts, do your territory planning, account planning, find your buyer persona, your prospects at those great accounts, add them to your sequences. All of a sudden you start emailing, calling, sleuthing, blah, 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 and then you start getting real meetings in pipeline. So in order to actually have calls and emails to make, you need to do a lot of prospecting. So I dedicate 10 a.m. until lunchtime to finding people to prospect. I'm trying to find between 10 to 20 a day, which is a lot for an account executive. So it takes a substantial amount of my time. And as we think about cold emailing, cold calling, and prospecting, finding new people to call and email, that is pipeline generation. We've talked about pipeline generation, pipeline health, self-development. We've talked a little bit about pipeline health. Now we're focusing on pipeline generation, which is the key to being a successful sales rep. As we talked about, in order to hit your revenue target of $216,000, I need at least 3x pipeline coverage. And if we do 3 times 216,000, we're basically at $700,000 in pipeline I need in order to have a chance to close that much revenue. It's a lot of pipeline. So you need to find so many people to call, you need to make a lot of calls, you need to send your emails, and that is pipeline generation, and you need to commit to it. I think there's a skill involved with your talk tracks, your messaging, timing, artificially warming up the conversations, but also it's an effort thing. It really comes down to, are you willing to put in the effort? And a lot of people aren't willing to show up every day, be consistent, and that's what separated me in my 4-year software sales career, promoting 6 times, 4xing my income, is just putting in the work and doing what other people aren't willing to do. That carries us into 11 a.m., which is when I eat. I'm a pretty skinny guy. I like to stay thin, and I intermittent fast. I don't do it for health reasons. I do it for energy, because when you eat a lot of food, it takes energy to digest. So when I wait until midday to eat, I have more energy and I don't experience that crash in the afternoon, and I eat oatmeal. So that carries us into 11:30 a.m. and this is a strategy / self-development block. What I'll do is go watch a motivational video or a coaching video, something like this, and I'll just think about, how's my day going so far? Look at my goals. I always write down my goals at the beginning of the day, and I'll think about, how can I make the rest of the day successful? At this point, we're right around 1 to 3 p.m. and this entire afternoon is blocked for external customer meetings. I have found, and I prefer to schedule my external meetings in the afternoon. I think it's the best show rates, and it's just my preference. It's how I've always liked to do it. So that's when I try and schedule my meetings for external meeting with customers. But I'm also willing to schedule over any of these blocks to meet with the customer if they're willing to meet with me. Then at 3:30 p.m., we're picking up the phone again. We're gonna cold call. We're not quitting on the day. This is actually the best time to call, in my opinion. It's when people are done with their meetings towards the end of the day, they're ready to get out, they're looking at their phone, they're messing around, they get a call and they say, hey, why not? Maybe it's something fun to do this evening. Little do they know, it's you and I calling, trying to set up a meeting with them. And then we're gonna call, prospect until about 5 p.m. And I don't just get out of the office at 5 p.m. That's when you do your follow-ups from the meetings. That's when you close out the day. You reflect what went well, what didn't go well. You track your progress. Did you win the day? Did you not win the day? And then you begin thinking about, how can I set myself up for a successful day tomorrow? And repeat the whole cycle again 5 days a week. Make sure that we're the only one here. It's where we enter the office right there. We got a bar, some fun lights going over here. This is the cafeteria. Tech company, of course, we get the lunch catered and ordered in multiple days a week. This is where I give the big speeches and we have our weekly all hands meetings with the team. Carries us into the office area right over here. This should motivate you if you're an aspiring rep looking to get hired. This is the opportunity at hand. Look at all of these open desks ready for you to be filled. These are of course the meeting rooms right here where we take external customer meetings. We have some booths right here if you need to get some peace and quiet to make your calls. We of course have many more desks over here. We're hiring. Fun game room over there. We've got foosball. We've got that game that I can't remember, pool. We're not swimming in a pool, but we're looking at pool. This is my desk right here. As you can see, this is where I work. This is where I sit at. I've got my post-it notes with my goals written down. I've got my notepad with my goals written down. And I've got multiple headsets ready to make dials at any point in time. And then finally, we got the big jug of water. Stay hydrated. If you're interested in direct access to me, private coaching, or just to be a part of a winning community surrounding yourself with other motivated, driven, like-minded people, press the join button below. For only $10 a month, you can be a part of my private membership community, access to a weekly live call with just members. We had a fantastic one last week, big one coming up this Sunday. And you'll also get access to our 24/7 Discord chat available to everyone. I reply to all the messages. It's just a great environment. It pumps me up each and every day. Hope to see you there. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.